ready yet?
Hi, welcome. Okay.
It's hard. Okay. Oh, it's like you like me.
Hi, welcome to Our Family Bee.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Brigitte.
And today we're going to be talking about the 5 love languages.
And how understanding them can help you to have a stronger marriage.
Let's go. We're going to be talking about the 5 love languages and how knowing about these can help you have a stronger marriage.
But before we do that, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. And don't forget to hit the bell so that you get notified every time we have a new video come out.
You can follow us on Instagram at Our Family Bee Social or check out our blog at ourfamilybee.com.
So you may be asking, what are love languages? Well, let me tell you. Love languages are how we give and receive love. There are 5 types of love languages.
Okay.
We got all of this from a book that we will link down below, but it's by Gary Chapman, and he says that there are 5 love languages.
Yeah. And these are the different ways that you may receive or give love. And you think, well, this thing is loving and this thing is not loving, but actually everybody feels loved in different ways. And he broke it down into 5 different things. Number 1 would be gifts. This is all about communicating or feeling loved by giving or receiving gifts. Maybe you're somebody who, if the person you love gets you something super thoughtful or something nice, you know, they put a lot of effort or time or money into, you feel like that conveys love. That would be one of your love languages.
Another love language would be acts of service. So if that person does something to help alleviate the burden that you have, or does something to show you that they care about you and lighten your load, then that would be an acts of service love language.
Spoiler, it's not mine. We'll come back to that. The next one would be quality time. This is feeling loved by someone spending quality time with you. And this is purposeful, that it's quality time, not just time, right? Because it's one thing to spend a lot of time with somebody, but if you're ignoring them or if there's no quality, there's no value to the time, it's not going to communicate love. But for some folks, this is the best way to receive or to give love. It's the most natural way for them. That's spending quality time with the person, time that adds value to their lives.
The 4th love language would be physical touch. So not just in the bedroom, ladies and gentlemen, but any non-sexual touch, anything that's just, hey, I love you, I'm here, lets you know they're present. You know.
It's a good one. It's good. And the last one would be words of affirmation. These are things that would be said verbally to build up or encourage the other person. Could be a compliment, could just be an I love you, could be, hey, that meant a lot to me, thank you for that. It's expressing your love out loud, verbally. Interesting how these interact and how they may or may not complement each other, because the way that we most naturally receive love is frequently the way that we most naturally give love as well.
Now that you know what they are, you may ask yourself, why does this matter? Well, I'm gonna tell you. In order to have a successful and thriving marriage, you need to be able to communicate. But what one person may think is communicating love to another may not be received as that love.
Yeah, so like if your love language is giving gifts, and I don't care about that at all. So if I gave her a gift, she would feel great, but it's not mine, so 1, I'm not likely to do that. And 2, if she gives me a gift, I'm like, okay, cool. It may be nice, I might know it's nice, I might value it, but it may not actually be communicating love to me.
Yeah, so if we think about each person as having this tank, like a love tank that they need to have filled up, then to each person, they have 1 or 2 things that are at the top of their list that really make them feel loved and appreciated and respected and adored. And so those are the things that the other person, the spouse, needs to convey, even if it's not their primary love language. So just like with Spanish or French or any foreign language that is not native to you, you have to learn it. And so therein comes working together and learning each other's love languages.
Yeah, because just like with an actual spoken language, if I spoke French natively and she didn't speak a word of it, we would have a very hard time communicating our love for one another. Same with the love languages. If you don't learn to speak each other's love languages, you're not going to get very far.
On the website 5lovelanguages.com, you can go and take a simple test.
Yes, we're going to link that right there. You can go and click on that.
And it takes all of 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's super fast.
It is super interesting because yours actually changed.
I know.
From 8 years ago.
I know. It was 8 years ago.
8 years
Almost.
ago.
Wow.
I'll share mine first. This was no surprise to you.
Okay. Your love languages? No, because they didn't change at all. I was not shocked in the least.
Spoiler alert. Our love languages are not the same. Therefore, we both have to be intentional about learning to speak the other's language.
Yeah.
Because it's not natural.
No.
And I think this was the cause of a lot of struggle in the beginning of our marriage because we thought we were communicating.
Yeah, we're like, here's all the love.
But it was not being received.
Yeah, we both were not like consciously thinking, but I guess feeling.
Yeah.
Where is all the love? So, in order, Brigitte's 5 love languages.
Acts of service, quality time, physical touch, receiving gifts, and words of affirmation.
So your top love language is acts of service. What does that look like for you?
Acts of service is doing anything for the other person, for me, that would alleviate my burden and the things that I have to do, probably like around the house. So things like dishes or vacuuming or making a meal or taking care of the kids so that I can do something that I really enjoy. Anything that is an act of service. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I think it just shows me like the selflessness of the love, because I know you don't want to do those things necessarily, but when you do them, it's like, hey, I'm laying down what I want and I'm gonna help you to achieve something that you want.
I love you. That just actually illustrated a whole point, but we'll come back to that. So acts of service means doing the dishes. I mean, kind of.
Or vacuuming, or taking my car in to get its oil changed, or wash it, or fill up the gas tank.
Hashtag man job.
Those are all like, those all make me feel loved and like taken care of. My second and third were pretty close, only 1 point off, and that's quality time and then physical touch. So quality time is time that we're together, but that we're being very intentional about it. So no phone, no TV, no distraction, just focused time. And that doesn't mean that the other person is just constantly talking. It also means listening and allowing there to be silence. So that we can think and then talk. Comfortable with the silence. Like right now.
I'm having such a hard time with this right now. And then your number 3.
Physical touch. So not just, in the bedroom, but
note to self.
Hand on the shoulder, hand on the face.
Physical touch.
Affectionately. Is this physical touch?
Yes, technically.
But just something that says, hey, I'm here, I support you, like, I don't know, just like, I mean, also kissing and hugging and stuff like that too, but.
So my top 3 in order: physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. Here's what's shocking about that. 8 years ago, like way up there, words of affirmation, and then like everything else. And now words of affirmation is 3rd, even though the top 3 are actually really close. They're only 1 point apart each. The physical touch thing, actually, so I joke, but I totally agree with Brigitte. It has a lot to do with like the emotional intimacy communicated by physical touch. Like if she comes up and holds my hand, especially like if we're walking through somewhere in public and she just grabs my hand, if she snuggles up against me when we're out and about or something like that, that actually means a lot to me. That says, hey, I'm here with you and for you and we're together, we're one. And I love that. That's super cool.
And also I think, at least with this love language, it's just interesting because like no one else can do that. to you.
It better not. I mean.
You know, so it's strictly me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think
like other people can say nice things, but other people can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it really is important for me to remember that, because if I'm not doing that, not that he's going to go out and seek that, but he's going to want that. And so I need to be giving that to him. And
well, and same for you, because it's primary, it's up there for both of us.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Second one is quality time. And this is definitely different than what it would have been years ago. Like, I think just our trust has built so much over the years that and we don't get a lot of time together. We both work a lot. Doing this YouTube thing is kind of insane for us. We might have lost our minds, and it's a little stressful. We're trying to make it happen. But just like, because of that, spending time together, relaxing or adds value for both of us together is really nice for me. Like, we don't get that much, and so I greatly appreciate it. And if you're married, you don't have kids yet, just you wait. That quality time will become valuable. So that one too is big for both of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think we're learning how to be intentional with the time we have together.
Try it.
Because we used to spend a lot more time together, you know, before we had kids, when we were first married. Yeah. We didn't work as much, but it wasn't quality at the end. We both didn't feel more loved and refreshed because I just think we didn't know each other as well, and we didn't know how to communicate love that the other person would receive well.
True. Yeah, and then the third one on my list, which is also really close, would be words of affirmation, which is still, for me, I mean, I'm a very vocal person. If you watch these videos, you probably noticed that I talk, but it's because words actually do have value to me. They aren't hollow, because when I say something, even though I say a lot of things, I try to make it something that I mean, and that is true. And so I kind of expect the same from others, and so if they say something to me that conveys emotion, I take that as something real and solid, because to me a word has power. And so yeah, words of affirmation still do matter to me. What's really interesting for me is that acts of service is my fourth lowest, and it's not close at all, it's like way down there. And for both of us, gifts actually mean very little.
Yeah, well, words is my lowest.
Yes, words is for like 1 point. Out of all of the points. 1.
Yeah. So you can say all the flowery things you want. You're so beautiful. You are doing such a great job.
And I did when we were dating, and it had zero effect whatsoever.
It's not that it has zero effect. It's just that it's like very low impact.
Yeah.
You know? And then gift giving is the second lowest and your lowest.
Yeah.
So,
okay,
you know, you are dating and
yeah, I got you a couple little pieces of jewelry and stuff, and you're like, hey.
And flowers and stuff, and it's like,
but you do like
flowers. I appreciate them, but to me it's like I think I'm more practical than like
that's my girl.
Romantic.
That's my girl.
So I'm like, oh, flowers, great, they're gonna die.
I kid you not, flowers are more valuable to her if they don't die quickly and they cost less money.
Yeah, I'd rather be frugal about it.
Yeah. If I get her flowers, it's like, okay, great, we need baking soda.
Or we need a yard to plant them in. So
yeah, where's the yard? What are we gonna do? Plant them. Anyway. If you want to know how to use this knowledge to fail in your marriage, really simple. Continue to speak the language that's natural to you in complete disregard for your spouse's love languages themselves.
Or intentionally withhold the thing that makes them feel the most loved.
Yeah, or even unintentionally. Like, this is why it's valuable. Learn these things. In fact, this was one of our top 7 marriage tips in a video that we'll link right up here, was to speak your spouse's language. If you don't know how to speak their language, you're not going to be able to communicate well. So if you want to use this to make your marriage fail, just don't speak their language and they won't feel loved, and you may not feel loved either. But if you want to use it to make your marriage stronger, like that.
Learn your own love language first.
Yes.
And then have your spouse take the test too.
Yeah.
And learn their language. And then put some steps, just simple steps.
Yeah.
Try for one thing a day or something to speak their language and see how well it is received and see how they respond. And
you might be thinking like, well, if I'm not feeling loved, how can I give much love? It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
It's got to start with somebody. So if for instance, might be my wife, maybe, let's say she hasn't for weeks said anything verbally to express love to me. And that's hard, right? I might be feeling very love tank empty at that moment. I can just feel unloved, or I can say, well, you know what? What have I done that makes her feel loved in her love language lately? And maybe I just come home and do the dishes.
Could it be true?
Try something that fits your spouse's love language and see if it doesn't change the way they interact with you. But best of all, just learn each other's languages.
Because when you said I do, you said I do, not I do if.
Yeah, like based on circumstance.
Right. For richer or poorer, in sickness and health, whether they're showing you love or not at the moment, show them love because it's a commitment. Mm-hmm. That's what the marriage starts with, is a commitment. Not a feeling, not, I don't know. But it starts with a commitment.
Oh my gosh!
To keep it going, you have to stay committed. Yeah. Speak their language.
If you really want to dive deep onto this, read the book.
It's called The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. We will link it down below.
And then take the test. It's super easy to take. Only takes 5 minutes. That's linked down below as well. And then comment below, what are your top love languages? How do you feel loved and how do you express love?
We want to grow this community, so if you want to help us out, share this with a friend.
Yeah, you can click the share button right at the top of the screen and just say, hey, check this video out. Maybe they'll like it. And if they don't, they'll let us know that too.
Which is fine. We need to know. Until we meet again, don't forget,
life is better together.